The Fatal Beauty of Queen Elizabeth I, the lead and mercury in her makeup. Once upon a time, in the elegant courts of Elizabethan England, the epitome of beauty was snow-white skin. This ideal was exemplified by Queen Elizabeth I herself, whose signature ghostly makeup defined the 16th century standard for women. Porcelain skin was a symbol of nobility and earthly perfection. However, the pursuit of this perfection came at a deadly cost. To achieve her iconic look, Elizabeth covered her face with makeup composed largely of lead and rubbed mercury on her lips. These toxic substances, along with a mercury-based makeup remover, not only enhanced her appearance but also gradually ate away at her flesh, leading to severe health consequences. Today, we delve into the makeup practices of Queen Elizabeth I and how they might have contributed to her death. Now let's journey back to the era of the Virgin Queen, where the highest standard for female beauty was smooth, blindingly white skin. To achieve her alabaster complexion, Elizabeth used Venetian ceruse, a cosmetic made from white lead and vinegar. She powdered her face and neck with this substance, transforming her pockmarked skin into an eerie porcelain-like canvas. The ceruse likely smelled like sour wine, a small price to pay for what was considered earthly perfection at the time. Today we know that applying lead to the skin daily causes severe and often irreversible problems such as hair loss, skin deterioration, and death by lead poisoning. In the 16th century, such outcomes were indeed final, and it is believed that lead poisoning played a significant role in Elizabeth's declining health. However, lead wasn't the only poison in her makeup arsenal. Elizabeth also used cinnabar, a toxic mineral containing mercury, to achieve her signature red lips. This mercury-based lip stain was absorbed through her skin over long periods, contributing to the deterioration of her health. The combination of lead and mercury created a deadly cocktail that Elizabeth applied to her skin regularly. The effects of these toxic substances were compounded by Elizabeth's makeup habits. Unlike modern routines, Elizabeth did not remove her makeup nightly. Instead, she often wore it for at least a week, allowing the lead and mercury to soak into her skin. This practice caused her skin to turn gray and wrinkled, leading her to apply even thicker layers of makeup to cover the damage. Symptoms of mercury poisoning include memory loss, irritability, and depression, all conditions that Elizabeth reportedly experienced towards the end of her life. The Queen's battle against the ravages of time and disease was fierce and lasted her entire life. As her skin deteriorated, she wore increasingly thicker layers of makeup, sometimes up to an inch thick. As a young queen, Elizabeth did not initially wear as much makeup, partly because she had not yet contracted smallpox. However, in 1562, she was struck with a high fever and displayed all the symptoms of smallpox. Although she survived, the disease left her with permanent scars. To cover these blemishes, Elizabeth relied heavily on her lead-based makeup, exacerbating the damage to her skin. Elizabeth was acutely aware of the expectations placed upon her as one of the few female rulers in history. She knew that any visible scars or blemishes would mark her as a pariah rather than a survivor. To maintain her image, she forbade unflattering portraits and required artists to depict her with flawless, youthful skin, even as she aged. In her later years, Elizabeth's health continued to decline. Reports suggest that she suffered from memory loss and depression, likely due to the long-term effects of lead and mercury poisoning. Towards the end of her life, she refused to let doctors examine her and stood for 15 hours straight, believing that if she laid down, she would never get up. On March 24, 1603, Elizabeth passed away. Possible causes of death include cancer or pneumonia, but the decades of toxic makeup application undoubtedly contributed to her deteriorating health. The use of lead and mercury in cosmetics dates back to at least the 5th century BCE. By the 16th century, Venetian ceruse was a popular cosmetic among women, despite its known harmful effects. It wasn't until 1630, nearly 40 years after Elizabeth's death, that lead was officially classified as a poison. Queen Elizabeth's pursuit of beauty came at a tremendous cost to her health. Her story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of toxic beauty practices, a tradition that, unfortunately, continues in various forms even today. What do you think about Queen Elizabeth's makeup practices?